The cost of home insurance in Florida is high and rising. We pay some of the highest insurance premiums in the country.
Yeah, well, experts out there say that the high cost is probably why some are choosing not to pay for that insurance.
NBC6 Responds' Miriam Masihi is here with why even though that does save money, it can come at a very high cost.
When you have a mortgage, banks require that you have homeowners insurance to protect that investment. But after that mortgage is satisfied, thousands of people in Florida are deciding not to pay those premiums, something that can be very risky.
Jose Ferrer wanted to show us the destruction a fire caused in his home.
Well, what can I say? We lost everything. We lost everything.
A house that took 30 years to pay off, destroyed in minutes.
No, I don't have another home. No, I don't have anything.
In each room, little can be salvaged. Even most of their cherished photos are gone. His wife, Delcy, worries about what they'll do because their home is uninsured.
Me acuesto y pienso que cuando me despierto es una pesadilla.
She says, I go to sleep and when I wake up, I think that this is a nightmare. The Ferrer family isn't alone. According to census data, nearly 13% of owner-occupied homes in Florida don't have insurance. In Miami, it's more than 14%. That's twice as many as homeowners nationwide.
In my opinion, it's totally crazy not to have insurance unless you are super rich and you can be self-insured. But I don't think that's the case of many of us.
Victor Roldan knows the risk these South Floridians are taking. He's the director of RMS, a company that assesses risk for insurance companies worldwide.
This is one of the most catastrophic zones historically in the United States and in the world as well.
And that higher probability for hurricanes and other disasters is why policies cost more in our state. Florida had the third highest average premium for homeowners insurance compared to other states in 2016, costing nearly $2,000 per home each year. Compared to the national average, we pay $726 more per year. And Roldan says that risk will continue to grow.
Climate change is making catastrophes actually bigger.
Bigger, and he believes more frequent. He says consumers who risk going without insurance are playing Russian roulette.
It will never happen to me. But if you choose to live in South Florida, it will happen to you.
While the Ferrers hope for a miracle so they can rebuild,
I don't know what happened with my family.
they hope others will learn from what happened to them.
For now, the Ferrer family is living with their 99-year-old father-in-law. They haven't been able to find any government assistance to help them rebuild. There is a fund to help families like this, but the city of Hialeah says that they don't qualify because they live in a duplex. Roldan says that before buying a home, you should calculate the cost of homeowners insurance to make sure you can afford that protection. Miriam Masihi, NBC6 Responds.
Welcome back. A South Florida couple who lost everything in a house fire is getting some much needed help thanks to kind-hearted community leaders and business owners who saw their story here on NBC6. The couple didn't have homeowners insurance when the fire took everything from them. NBC6 Responds shared their story.
And now Miriam Masihi shows us how an unlikely person who saw the story started an effort to make a difference for the couple.
A house that took 30 years to pay off, destroyed in minutes by an electrical fire.
Well, what can I say? We lost everything.
We told you how Jose and Delcy Ferrer struggled to rebuild in February. They tried to get money from a fund set up for Hialeah families who suffer fires, but didn't qualify because their house is a duplex.
No, I don't have another home. No, I don't have anything.
At the time, we said they were hoping for a miracle. From across the county line, the mayor of Broward County was watching NBC6 that day and was moved.
That's what we want to do. We want to make miracles happen.
Without wanting to get the Ferrer family's hopes up, Mayor Bogan started to see what could be done. He went to their home with Mark Blanchard, the vice president of engineering firm AECom.
I said, let's reach out. Let me reach out to the engineering construction industry. Let me see what we can do. We reached out to the Florida Panthers, their foundation.
A few months later, Bogan, Blanchard, and a group of kind-hearted businessmen came back check saying they had raised enough money
to fix your home.
Para arreglar la casa.
Thank you.
The group donated more than $50,000 to the family to rebuild.
What caught my attention when my friend Mark Blanchard mentioned this to me is the fact that they had just paid off their home. And I, too, come from humble beginnings, and I couldn't just simply stand by without providing the support that I believe they're going to need.
So this is really an example of America is all about. You know, we're all helping each other at the right time.
The goodwill gesture bringing the couple's daughter to tears.
Extremely overwhelmed. I can't believe this is actually happening.
I'll always have you in my heart, Delcy tells them. The president of the Florida Panthers, who gave a generous donation through their foundation, didn't need to hear the translation.
Thank you. Thank you. It's extremely emotional. I didn't even have to understand her words. I could just feel, her love and affection and appreciation of everything. So now we got to get to work.
In addition to raising money to rebuild, engineering firms and contractors are donating their services. The Pier 66 Hotel Marina will take care of the finishing touches.
Bedroom sets and living room sets and all that, we're going to go ahead and help with that.
The next step is to secure the permits for the work, something the city of Hialeah says will be a priority.
And we're going to make sure that we work through those plans and the inspections as soon as possible to get this family back in here.
And while Delcy embraces the NBC6 response producer who never forgot her pain, we get to show a community making a difference.
It's big, beautiful people, everybody. It's incredible. I never forget that.
And we will be following this process as the Ferrer family gets their home back. Moss Construction has come on board to help coordinate the build. To learn more about everyone lending a hand in this project, go to the response section of our website, NBC6.com. Miriam Asihi, NBC6 Responds.
All right, welcome back. Well, buying a home is an impossible dream for many in South Florida. Prices are too high. There's too much competition from all over the world, and some aren't fighting fair.
And now federal law enforcement says some of the big money being used to buy homes in our community is dirty money. NBC6 investigator Miriam Asihi looks at the impact of it on real estate prices.
Well, a lot of us take pride in the fact that the rich and famous want to have homes here in Miami, but authorities are actually concerned about billions of illicit dollars available for investment in real estate. They say the dirty money comes at a high price.
Exhausting.
That's how Terry Sanchez describes her days. The single mom and teacher works extra jobs to make ends meet. She says her dream of owning a home is out of reach.
I made a few offers. They were all turned down over cash offers.
Put on your seatbelt, because as hot as it is now, it's going to get much hotter.
Real estate agents like Alicia Cervera love this cash market.
It's a more stable market and it's a healthier market. So that's a good thing.
A market fueled in part by cash buyers who were behind 45% of home sales in 2017. But some of that cash raises the suspicion of John Tobon, Deputy Special Agent with Homeland Security Investigations.
A lot of that money comes in from illicit sources,
forcing everyone to pay higher housing prices.
Initial response to all of this influx of money is, oh, this is great. But I think we're starting to see why this is bad. Unless you can come up with $600,000 or $700,000 cash, you cannot buy or legitimately compete for a home Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach.
Nobody knows how many properties have been bought with dirty money, but Tobon says there's a lot of money available from black markets in countries like Russia, Colombia, and Venezuela.
The amount of money, it's the hundreds of billions.
The Treasury Department says Venezuela's vice president is an example of the problem. Tarek El Aissami is accused of being a drug kingpin and using Venezuelan businessman Samark Lopez Bello as a frontman to launder drug revenues, something Venezuela's government denies. The U.S. government blocked a handful of million-dollar properties in Miami for alleged links to Lopez Bello, who on his website denied the allegations, saying the sanctions appear to be politically motivated. To combat dirty money, the Treasury Department now requires title companies in South Florida and other hot real estate markets to share more information on buyers who make transactions of $1 million or more. Those buyers have been able to stay private using a perfectly legal process of making the purchase through a limited liability company, or LLC.
Those sales require additional, the collection of additional information to help us identify who is behind the beneficial ownership of those LLCs involved in those transactions.
The Treasury found nationally nearly 1 in 3 of these top-dollar purchases involved a person or company that had been the subject of a previous suspicious activity report. That doesn't necessarily mean the deal was dirty.
I believe that most of the money that comes into the country is clean money.
Cervera believes too much regulation will hurt good buyers and do little to curb the problem.
So if you put a light on a specific geographic area, the bad guys will move to another area. It's pretty simple, because what they're trying to do is launder bad money.
Terry Sanchez realizes her battle against other buyers won't be easy either, and it just may mean giving up the teaching career she loves for a better paying job.
It's a constant battle.
Separating good buyers from bad ones isn't easy, as many people use LLCs to buy properties. Our review of local property records found that last year in Miami-Dade, more than 11,000 residential properties were purchased by or transferred to an LLC. That number's almost doubled in 5 years. Miriam Masihi, NBC 6 News.
En los últimos meses, el equipo de Telemundo 51 Responde ha recibido varias quejas de dueños de casas que no logran que contratistas terminen de repararle los techos dañados desde el huracán Irma.
Bueno, muchos de ellos pensaron que los contratos que firmaron garantizarían de alguna manera que el trabajo se terminara de manera rápida, pero eso no ocurrió. Miriam Masihi nos explica. Miriam.
Daisy Fausto, la Asociación de Techeros Local, nos dice que el huracán Irma dañó miles de techos aquí en el sur de la Florida, pero el daño fue peor en la costa oeste del estado. Y como verán a continuación, la demanda de obreros en esa parte del estado ha contribuido a las demoras aquí.
Son manchas de humedad, manchas de agua.
En casa de Jorge Andrade aún se ve el daño que dejó el huracán Irma.
Necesitábamos un techo porque el huracán Irma, el último huracán, nos destruyó el techo prácticamente completamente.
Andrade contrató a Home Depot en octubre del año pasado para colocar su techo nuevo y dice que les dijo que era un trabajo urgente.
Lo más pronto posible porque se estaba lloviendo aquí adentro.
Andrade dice que la empresa le dijo que el trabajo no comenzaría antes de la Navidad.
Octubre, noviembre, diciembre, bueno, pues es más o menos razonable.
Pero dice que la paciencia se la agotó en enero y empezó a quejarse con la compañía.
El vendedor me decía, no, mañana, no, la semana que viene, no, te estamos buscando subcontratista.
Dice que empezaron el proyecto en marzo, pero cuando no pasó inspección en abril, llamó a Telemundo 51 Responde.
Tuve liqueos aquí, tuve liqueos en todas partes. No me han terminado todavía el techo.
Jenny Vargas también nos llamó para quejarse que la instalación de su techo nuevo se estaba tardando, aunque le comunicó su urgencia a la empresa cuando firmó el contrato en enero.
Yo no quiero que empiece una temporada de huracán y que yo no tenga un techo. Y me dijo, no, tranquila.
En junio y julio ambos techos pasaron inspección. En un comunicado, Home Depot nos dijo que las tormentas del año pasado crearon una demanda intensa de techos y mano de obra que no es exclusiva de The Home Depot. Sin embargo, siempre queremos comunicar claramente los plazos del proyecto y pedir disculpas a los Andrade y Vargas por la inconveniencia. Según la Asociación de Techeros del Sur de la Florida, estas demoras son comunes. Dicen que parte del problema es la escasez de mano de obra, ya que muchos trabajadores fueron en busca de oportunidades en la costa oeste del estado. También hay escasez de materiales, como algunas tejas. Aunque Andrade siente que la compañía no cumplió el plazo que prometió, el contrato que firmó tenía las palabras fecha anticipada de entrega y fecha aproximada de finalización, términos que son usados en la industria y que este abogado de bienes raíces dice deja abierta la fecha de finalización.
Sí causa un problema porque deja un término importante abierta, ¿okay? En lo cual si el contratista quiere demorar en cumplir, tiene cierto espacio de movimiento para poder cumplir.
Aquí puedes ver, mira, todas las manchas.
En el caso de Vargas, su contrato no tenía escrito una fecha de finalización.
Cuando vaya a firmar un contrato, que sea claro, los términos importantes acordados y que uno esté feliz con lo que está firmando, no con lo que uno está escuchando.
Home Depot terminó dándole un descuento de $1,000 a Andrade. Tanto Andrade como Vargas nos dicen que esto le ha servido de lección y que de ahora en adelante se fijarán en las fechas de entrega antes de firmar un contrato. Es todo por mi parte, continuamos con más.